And welcome back to eBEFOREi Video Reviews. Yes, you! Welcome back! Anyway, today we're taking a look at the Transformers Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack Evolution 2-pack. It's Dinobot Strafe. So there he is. He looks pretty good. He comes with a Mini-Me Swoop. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Again, he is a Toys R Us exclusive, and ages 8+, you know that's the Advanced Deluxe. Otherwise, it would be ages 6. So anyway, you know that you're getting the real deal here. So here's the artwork on the box, and this is somewhat controversial because he's got 2 heads. But he is definitely Strafe, not Swoop. Looking at the back of the box, they're boasting that he has 10 steps to transform. There's a little tiny guy in 4 steps, 1 classic figure, and some French words. Now, because of the evolution theme, you get a G1 picture of Strafe, who was an aerial bot. Not a Dinobot at all. So, cool, but weird that they included that. Kind of odd. Alright, so there's our G1 classic Strafe, or Swoop, or whatever you want to call it. This figure's okay. It's odd that they're kind of celebrating the evolution of the figure when the Generation 1 version was an aerial bot. He was an airplane. So, odd that they've got him kind of decorated as G1 Swoop from the cartoon, with the blue and the red and the gold. Let's take a closer look and see what we get here. The detail on the face, there really isn't much. The plastic molding is nice. He's got the blue eyes, red tip on the back dino part there. There's the bottom, some part numbers for all you part number fanatics. So there's that. On the other side, you've got the Hasbro and Tomy symbols right there. You kind of see that. Let's get this little guy transformed. First of all, you just want to move the head down like that. Take this little blue bit, and ultimately it's going to connect the body together. You want to detach the wings on both sides. Then you want to bring these gold bits down. And these are going to tab into the blue pegs on the side of that chest piece. So once you get them all tabbed in, just kind of give it a push and a squeeze, and that's what she said. And so then you take the feet and you open them up. You got little feet. Take the side parts, which were the wings, and it's on a dual hinge, so you want to just move the whole thing forward. You got that little dual bit right there, and just rotate the whole thing inward. You can kind of put it down. Little bird hands become his hands, and, you know, there's his face. So that's it. You've done the transformation, and boy, is this tiny. It's about the size of a stamp. There's his face in detail. It's okay. It's white paint with blue. His arms, you know, are all of that kind of boring gray, no paint with the white on the tips. Little birdie hands become his cartoon hands with the 3 fingers. You know, there's not really much else to say about this. For scale, he's very, very small, standing next to his buddy that he's packaged with, which is really the main event. And by the way, that's really more of a throw-in that does not raise the price of this deluxe figure. So this guy is $14.99 like the rest of them, or $13, or however much you find him for. He's included free, at least here in the United States at Toys R Us. Let's move on to the main event figure itself. Here's Strafe in his robot mode, and that's how he comes packaged. One thing to look out for is his legs. When you first open him up, they're collapsed in on themselves like a partial transformation. So he looks very, very short. Don't be alarmed. Just got to pull him out. But it's odd that they would put a figure in the box. I mean, I get why they do it for size reasons, but it's odd that they put him in the box to make you think that he's really, really tiny, when he's actually got a bit more height to him. Now, I think in robot mode, he looks good. Here's a close-up of his head. On the side, they've got a dab of blue paint, where maybe the side screw would be. That's kind of neat. So there's kind of a close-up of the head. He's got that same theme as the other Deluxe Dinobots, kind of ninja-like. He's got the eye shield, the mouth is covered. There's his bird pterodactyls. Now, you can actually open them up, and that's really how they say you should pose the figure. Of course, you can do whatever you like. I kind of like to keep mine closed up. Looking at the rest of him, he's got some hollow bits. I mean, just taking a look, it's definitely hollow. And it almost looks like he's got a stress mark there, too, on the plastic. But, you know, that's part of the... You know, I'm not going to say that they're all like this in the new wave, but it is kind of a reoccurring theme. Now, the way you pose him up, unfortunately, he's going to have curling arms because you can't move the wrist, And you can move him like that, and he's ready to lift a dumbbell, but you can't turn his elbows forward and turn his wrists or his hands over to facing his chest. Does have waist swivel, which is always good in a Deluxe. His head is not on a ball joint, but it does move around left and right. Got a lot of posability in the legs here. You've got a ball joint covering swivel above the knee, knee hinge itself, and no foot articulation at all. Swinging him around to the back, it's a bit of a mess back here. It really is. It's as if they're just kind of settled to put the wings here. You've got this floppy, rubbery tail. We'll get into that in a bit. You see the hollowness in the back of the legs as well. So there's definitely a lot of hollow parts to this figure. Looking at him standing up, he looks good. You do have pterodactyl hands sticking out of his back. Now, you can put his wings up, and I'll do that at the end of this video, but that's generally how I like to pose him. Let's take a look at his weapons. He comes with these dual-wielding kind of sword bits here. I double-checked the instructions, and nowhere does it say what these are called on the box or the instructions. So I call them dual sword thingies. And yeah, that's what you get. You also get this little crossbow deal that is a pressure launcher, or friction launcher, whatever you want to call it. And you can see it just exploded in my hand. But don't put it in backwards. Put it in the right way. And you can see that, it carries on the look of the figure. So as he's holding it, both as a weapon or attached to his back in his pterodactyl form, it fits in quite well. Now, where this figure becomes a real treat is having him standing next to his other Dinobot buddies. Slug and Scorn look so good with Strafe. I mean, together on the shelf, you really, if you're into collecting these figures, you really need all three of these Deluxes to display on the shelf. I mean, despite some of the flaws with these guys, they just look great together. There he is with some weapons. I mean, these guys look ready for battle, so highly recommended just based off the way they appear together. Let's get him transformed. The first thing you want to do is spin him around. You take these wings and you can just pull them up. Now, you can display him in robot mode this way, and that does look kind of cool. But we're going to keep moving on here. We'll show you that pose later. So we're going to just spread them out like that. You've got this rubbery tail that sort of sits in the way, or the dual tails. All the instructions make this thing look like it's straight, and they're pretty perma-warped here. And I'm not saying that I can't fix it, but as is, they're going to curve, and that just looks kind of goofy in robot mode. The heads, you want to go ahead and open them up. Just like that on both sides, and now he's got 3 heads, which are better than 1. So there you go there. Next, you just kind of want to move them over to the side like that. There is a little bit of a tab there. You can tab them into place, and I'll show you that. So here's a better look, and you just want to slot that in. It's not real tight, but it does make a little pop, so you're good there. Now, you want to squeeze these 2 heads together, but you can't really do that until you get rid of the robot head. We'll make that disappear in a minute. You want to take the arms, and you want to tab, see that tab on the wings? You want to put that slot from the arm into that tab on the wings. So the arms don't really transform. They just fit real snug underneath the wings. So that is not a great thing for me. I wish that they could have found something, put him up against the side, fold him up. As is, he looks like he's hang gliding, but whatever. So we'll get rid of the head next, kind of move those down. You push the head straight down like that, and you got this little spike that sticks up, and that's perfectly fine. And then you can squeeze the dino heads together, and you'll probably untab the necks, and that's no big deal, just retab them. Next, you want to come down to the knees, and you want to just move these pterodactyl feet out like that. Then you want to flip the whole thing around and collapse it in on itself. So just take that. You've got the hollow part. Now you know why it's hollow. Move it up, and that's how the robot mode was packaged right there. So yeah, he's not really that short. From here, you can take this, and you can bend him up a little bit. You are supposed to put it down, but the problem with that is when you're holding the figure overhead, you've got the hollow pieces exposed. So that doesn't look great. But if you flip it around, then you kind of lose his knee pad landing gear. So it's kind of a no-win situation there. Attach some weapons and you're done. You're finished. There he is. And he looks good. He's not a bad-looking figure. There's not really a lot you can do with him. He's got a cool deal. The tail just bothers me to no end. I just wish that would flop a bit more straight. Now, because it's bendy, you can kind of stick it in between things, but, you know, it's just kind of an odd look. I do like that that you can kind of have him sitting down with the wings the way that they are. It kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park 3. Remember the pterodactyls? How they'd kind of sit on the ground with their wings as feet? I'm going to take the weapon off and get a look at his back. It's not bad. I kind of think it would look better with a single head. And I'm not just in that camp crying about it's not Swoop. I know he's Strafe. So, you know, there is that whole issue of the dual head being kind of a weird thing for me. Here's another pose of him kind of sitting down. And again, it's neat. He does look good. The head, the dual pterodactyl heads on this guy look really nice. So I am curious if Transformers scan other things, and if in prehistoric times you had a robot scan a dinosaur, was there a legit two-head version? There's a tail detail up close. The paint's very nice on it. You've got that kind of silver burst. Again, there's the legs, and that's kind of his, I call it the landing gear, but it's kind of something you can lean him up against. But it just kind of limits what you can do. Big fan of faction symbols. There's a great Autobot symbol there. So, you know, the figure itself I does have its positive points for sure. Look at the close-up of the eye. There's a lot of plastic detail. The paint is nice. The silver on black looks good. The teeth on the figure look nice. So you can kind of get some posability. You can maneuver the head. You can make him turn his neck, but then you've got a weird joint exposed. So you kind of have to keep that part to where they're looking away from each other if you don't want to expose that joint. The arms are flexible, or the wings. You can bend them because, again, they're on the same joint as he was in his robot mode. You can get some movability like that, and then, of course, the tips. Now, you can kind of... there's different poses that you can do to where I don't think it would look bad, especially if you have some type of display stand that you could pop him up onto. I think that he could look decent on your shelf like that. I like his dual-head pterodactyl mode fairly well. I just wish there was a little bit different thing you could do with those back legs, and that the tail was, well, more straight. So, wings out in bot mode. What's my overall feelings on this guy? Well, I think he's good. If you are collecting all of the Deluxe and Voyager Dinobots, then you really need to have this one. Robot mode, I think, looks great. And even with his wings up like this, I think he looks really good. Folded down, it's okay, kind of cape-ish on the back, but certainly something I can live with. The tail, I wish they'd use another type of material, or that it was shorter so that it wouldn't bend as much, because I just don't like the way that tail looks in his bird mode, or his pterodactyl mode. Other than that, I don't have any real other issues. If you see this guy, and you're into collecting these Age of Extinction dinos, go ahead and pick this one up. I don't think you'll be disappointed, especially when you have them all lined up together. Anyway, thanks again for watching eBEFOREi video reviews. I've got a lot more figures queued up and ready to go, so stay tuned to my channel. If you're watching this anywhere other than YouTube, you can catch all of my videos on youtube.com/eBEFOREiNet. You can also just type in eBEFOREi in YouTube, and you'll see everything right there. Aside from that, if you're on Facebook, you can track me down at facebook.com/eBEFOREi, and on Twitter, I'm at eBEFOREiNet. Thanks again for your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your thumbing up the videos. Everything you all do has helped make this channel a success, and I thank you so much. We'll see you back here again real soon.